Hey there, welcome to WordPress Wednesday, where we just talk about something to do with WordPress to help you out. Believe it or not, WordPress 5.3 is almost here. It's slated to be released in a little over a month, and there's testing currently going on. As I'm recording this video, 5.3 Beta 2 is out there to the wild to see, and as you're watching this video, Beta 3 is also out there. And this new release has been out there for testing really since September 23rd. As you might expect, there are updates, changes, and new features included in this upcoming release. So today, let's go through them ahead of the November 12th release. So as you can see, when you update to 5.3, you're going to notice a subtle design change. Here I am on a website running the Beta 2 currently. And as you can tell, there's more lines, the button styles are different. I'm going to flip over to 5.2 running website. Buttons here are a little bit raised. The lines aren't quite as noticeable. So I flip back over here, you can tell. It's also extremely noticeable here. Any of the gray buttons now have sort of that blue outline to them. Input fields have darker borders. A lot of these are for accessibility reasons. And overall, I'm kind of a fan of sort of the change. It's also extremely noticeable here in the post editor. Overall, it's a subtle change, it's not drastic, and I don't think people are going to mind too much. It'll be sort of a jarring experience maybe at first, but you'll get used to it. It's nothing big. Next up, as with any sort of last release of the year for WordPress, there's a new default theme included in the 5.3 update. It's called 2020, keeping with the naming convention. It's based off of Chaplin, and really I've found it to be a sort of a much better upgrade to the 2019 theme that came out last year. I'm going to have more of a detailed sort of look at this come next week, but for now let's go over just kind of what it looks like. This is sort of a homepage that I haven't really set up. As you can tell, full width seems to be what everything is going to these days. Very clean. Really am a huge fan of it. Just going through, this is what the blocks look like. Fairly simple styling. Some really cool examples of how themes can design different blocks, and there are also sort of some things that you can do really cool. For starters, if you add a featured image, it will show up here. And also with that featured image, you can come in here and select the cover template, hit update, reload the page, and now our featured image is actually behind up here in the top, sort of a hero image. I think this is going to be really great. Makes it easy for making cool pages and posts, and really becomes sort of a page builder, which is kind of the way Gutenberg seems to be going these days. And of course, there are also pretty good blocks. Now, block code, we're going to change this to nice, big, cool quote. We're going to show that off. Like so. Like I said, we're going to go over sort of a more detailed look at this theme, but overall, first impressions for me, pretty good. I probably won't use it just because I like to use custom templates and whatnot, but really if you're looking for something simple to just throw up on a website, this is going to be a pretty good thing to use. Also, there have been some updates to the Gutenberg editor. This is continuing to be developed sort of as a development plugin over off of GitHub. And you can have it on your site. If you have it on your site, you're probably not going to see any big changes when you update to 5.3, because a lot of those changes from the plugin are going to be rolled into core itself. But if you haven't been using the Gutenberg plugin, you are going to probably notice a few fairly big changes. I'm not sure when it was introduced, but I noticed on my sort of live website I have a little bit more animation when I go into edit a post. Go in here. Yeah, so when I go into, so I'm running 5.2 WordPress and the latest version of Gutenberg. I get a little, when I'm moving things up and down, I get a little animation. So far, I haven't seen that in over here in the 5.3 beta. I'm not sure if that got rolled in to 5.3 or not. Maybe it is. Maybe my computer is being a bit weird. Always possibility. But we do have a little bit more sort of block things that we can do. For example, it's much easier now to edit the block, or edit the table block, that is. Have a bunch of different options, go in, create tables, very easy. And then something also that you might be interested in is in the latest post block. You can now do it in a grid view, and you also have a lot more control over what you show. You can show, I don't know why you would show the full post, but you could show the full post or the excerpt. You can control how many words in the excerpt get shown. And also have column blocks, and you can also sort of group blocks. So this is all one block now, which can help it. So if I do that, hold on, let me back out. There we go. Do that. You can move full sections. So if I ever was writing a post and this one section with an H2 and some paragraph underneath, I could group it and move it up or down depending on how I thought the flow looked better. But really, the Gutenberg editor is getting a lot better. I'm enjoying writing in it a whole lot more. I know if you're coming from the classic editor, it still takes some time to get used to. I get it. But if you just use it daily, you sit down, you start writing, you start doing it more and more, it'll all come to you. And really, I find going back to the classic editor a pain in the butt now, just because it's a weird flow for me. I'm so used to Gutenberg. So if you haven't been trying out Gutenberg, when 5.3 comes out, I highly suggest that you just go and see how you like it now. Finally, we have a few sort of small changes that you may or may not see sort of on your front end, but are worth mentioning here. The first is a little bit better media uploads, especially with larger upload files. So upload this 4.7 meg file. And the idea is that large files, when you upload them, won't break. If something happens, it will save the image upload, and you'll have it at some point. So as you can tell, it's waiting a while, and there we go. Image is up. Another thing is the site health report, which is a really good tool to make sure that your site is running as good as it can be. In the past, with previous versions, when it was rolled into core, you had a score as a percentage up here. They've taken that away. Now they're just using words like good, could be better, needs improvement, those types of things. As long as it says good up here, you're good to go. And I really think that wording will sort of help non-developers understand where they are with their website health. Finally, we have a few just sort of in the code changes that you probably won't really see. The first is the search engine and visibility suggestion. Usually it was up to the search engines to honor this request, and it still kind of is. But there's some back-end code that will really highly discourage search engines from indexing the site. So if you're developing a website, you don't want it, Google or Bing to index it and put in their search results. You should be able to check this button, and for the most part, they shouldn't index the site. There's also some support added for the upcoming PHP 7.4 release. That's more of a developer topic. But I'm pretty excited for what's coming up in PHP 7.4, I think in December. And then there's also quicker and easier ways to get the date and time sort of in the code. Again, that's more of a developer thing. So that's what you can expect when WordPress 5.3 drops in November. It's nothing quite dramatic or drastic as the Gutenberg edition in 5.0 this time last year, but it's still a pretty good release, and personally I'm kind of excited to see how it all shapes out. But I also want to hear from you. What feature are you the most excited for? Or what feature are you the most nervous for? Leave them down in comments below. Also, if you have any questions on how 5.3 might affect your theme and your website, also leave them down in comments below. But until next time, happy WordPressing.